Hi, I'm Eric Gimbal from ericgimbal.com, and today I'm going to show you an analog camera, a medium format camera, a Mamiya C330. It's about 30 or more years old. It was built until the year 1980, I think. Well, this is quite an affordable camera to start with medium format. You can find it for about $250, $300, $400. 400 euros, depends, more or less. Okay, depends on condition. Sometimes it's more expensive, just depends. But this one I got for that price from Japan via eBay, and the price was quite right. The big difference between this twin reflex lens camera and a Rolleiflex, for example, is that you can change lenses. You can find 55, 65, 80, 105 and 135 millimeters lens. So that's quite interesting because you can actually change. In medium format, 80 millimeters is the standard lens, like it would be a 50 millimeters on a full frame camera or 35 millimeter camera. Okay. Twin reflex lens, it means twin lens reflex. It means the bottom lens is for taking the picture, it's the film, and the top lens is for viewing. So you actually view in the finder, okay, and you can compose and focus and everything. If you want to have precise focusing, you have a small magnifying glass. You can look at this like this, and then it's if you want to do some framing, what they call sport framing, you can actually put this down, and you can actually look at this. Of course, in the small hole here, of course you have to frame and focus first. Okay, normally you don't use that kind of camera for sport. I recommend you get a small shade for the bottom lens, which is the taking lens. You can find a square one, which is the standard Mamiya one, but it's very expensive. So you can have a round one if you want, but take it quite short, or otherwise you may have some vignetting. Get some filters if you do some black and white. And now I'm going to show you how the camera works. I mean, how to load the film, all this. I'm going to show you in the following part. Okay. Well, this is my Mamiya 330. It writes professional. I don't think it was less professional before they wrote that. And so I'm going to explain to you more or less what it is for. The different buttons and how it works, how to load the films. This is to focus the picture. As you can see, when I move the focus button, there is billows that are coming out. Okay. Here you have two lenses. The top one is where you actually see the picture you want to do and you want to make, and the bottom one is where the picture is actually hitting the film. Okay, here you have an important button there to remember what ISO you're using, but the important thing is you must set which lens, focal length you're using, like 80 millimeters, 65 millimeters, 55, 135. Why? Because there is a correction in the viewfinder. So if you open the viewfinder, you can see there's a small needle that is moving down. It means anything that is above this needle will be left off the picture, so especially if you're very close to your subject. Okay, why is this? Simply because there is a difference of height between the two lenses. So there is a small accessory. I don't use it, but you can estimate. But you can frame your picture, and then you use the accessory to tilt the camera forward, and this way you get exactly the same picture as you saw in the viewfinder. Okay, this is simply to remember what ISO you're using, and there is a red and a black dot, so you can remember if it was a color or black and white film in it. What's very important is to set the lens. Okay, then you have lock and unlock. If you switch on unlock, then you can release the lens. Okay, in the camera there is a small black piece of metal that just stops the light to hit the film. Okay, so it's important to do unlock first, so then you can take off the lens as I've just done. Okay, then you can lock it again. Okay, this is very simple. Here you have so the focus buttons. Then you have two triggers, one there and one on the thumb. Then you can lock it so you don't trigger by accident. Okay, here you have for single picture or for multi-picture. If you want to make several pictures on the same frame, it does wind the shutter, but it doesn't move the film forward. Okay, then the counter is on 0 because there's no film in the camera. Here you have a flash socket, it's actually an accessory socket. Then you have to set the aperture. Okay, then you have to set the speed from bulb. As long as you leave your finger on the shutter, it will be on, and then up to 1/500th of a second. Then you can leave on M or X for flash synchro. It's better to leave it on X. Okay, and here you have a flash connector. Flash cables connector. These two buttons are actually the holders of the film and the spool that are inside the camera. Okay, here it indicates which film you're using, if 120 or 220, the format you're using. And well, I put the hood on so I don't scratch the lenses. Okay, and now we're going to open the door. Well, to open the camera is very easy. You just turn the red dots vertical and then you move it to the right. Okay, that's open. As you can see, there is already a spool in it because this film format just actually empty the full spool into an empty spool. So this one is left over from the last film I've made pictures of. Okay. Okay, so then I have to take off from the bottom and put it at the top. It's always like this. So if you buy a camera like this, make sure that there is an empty spool, otherwise you cannot use the camera. Okay, so you put it at the top. Okay, it's not very easy for me to do because I've got a camera filming between my hand and what you're actually seeing, and so I don't say actually what I do. Here you have to set which film format you're using, 120 or 220. The 220 gives you 24 frames and 120 gives you 12 frames. Can't remember exactly how you moved it. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, yes. You must turn it. Okay, like this. Okay, this does two things. It indicates in the back of the camera that it's a 220 or 120 film. It also changes the pressure on the films. Okay, because the thickness of the film is not exactly the same one of 220 because there is no paper. Okay, so I'm going to open this Kodak Portra 160. 160 is the ISO 160 and the format is 120. Okay, so here's the film. First, you must say it says written Portra 160 and the film type is 120. Okay, I have to cut the paper, small tape. Okay, so I put the film in the bottom space. Here, okay, it's a bit hard to do. Okay, as you can see, it's not very easy with the camera in between me and the camera, filming camera between me and the camera. Okay, wait, those click. Okay, it's important that it's well in the center. Okay, then there is a slot in the spool. Okay, there I must put the paper just in there. Okay, it's easier when you're not filming, I guarantee. Okay, so I just turn this lever. Okay, see, it's not in there. Okay, so I repeat the operation. I move a bit so the slot is more in favor for me. Okay, there it goes. Okay, that's okay. Important that the paper is well centered. Okay, then I turn until this arrow gets to these red dots. That's it. Okay, so now I can close the camera. Okay, Then I turn the small button. It says 0 on the counter. And then I turn until I get to 1, number 1. And then it will automatically stop. That's it. Okay? So I can lock it. I put on lock not to make accidental pictures. I'm ready to make a picture. That's it. Okay, it says 120 the type of film, and 1, I'm on the first frame ready for picture. Well, I hope you liked the video and you gives you you want to try with analog photography. It's not as expensive as people think. I think it's actually quite cheap because you do think before making any picture, and you're really savvy, and you have your 12 poses, and you really think first. So I think maybe half or 3/4 of your pictures will be okay. And don't forget, this camera is not metered. You need a light meter, handheld. So some people have some app with your telephone, but I think you should have a handheld meter, so you can actually you can evaluate the light and make the right exposure. Well, I hope you like this short video. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/ericgibaud. Don't forget to visit my website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, my email is info@ericgibaud.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/ericgibaudphoto. My Twitter, Eric Gibaud. My Google Plus is +Eric Gibaud. My Instagram, egibaud. I think that's all. Okay, I hope to see you in the next video, and I hope you have liked what I explained, and you get the fun out of making analog pictures.